As you step into the decaying remnants of an ancient mansion, the air thickens with a palpable sense of dread. Shadows dance on the walls as tattered draperies flutter in a non-existent breeze. The floorboards groan beneath your weight, as if protesting your intrusion. In the dim light, you notice a grand staircase spiraling upwards into darkness, while a soft, eerie whisper seems to beckon you from deeper within.
I step forward confidently, the flicker of a small flame dancing at my fingertips as I speak. Let's light the way, literally. I then conjure a small orb of fire and send it hovering ahead to illuminate our path, casting its warm glow across the shadows.
I take a defensive stance, shield raised and axe at the ready, scanning the room for any immediate threats. Looking over my shoulder, I say, "Keep your guard up. Something ain't right here."
I tiptoe forward, crouching low as I search the floor and walls for any hidden traps or secret passageways, whispering, "Let's see what this old place is hiding."
I step forward, the chilling aura of Kelemvor's influence trailing behind me. I press my hand on the wooden banister of the staircase and whisper. Every creak and whisper here is a memory too stubborn to fade. Let us tread carefully upon the past's forgotten steps. As an extra precaution, I cast Detect Magic to sense any unseen arcane threats that might be concealed in this haunted mansion.
As Pyra's orb illuminates the hallway, you see rotting portraits and dusty suits of armor lining the walls, their eyes seemingly following your every move. The air shifts, and suddenly, Wisp's keen eyes spot a tripwire shimmering just inches from the floor ahead. Before he can warn the others, a ghostly, transparent blade slices through the space where Thoradin stood, who narrowly dodges by instinct alone. From the shadows at the top of the staircase, a bald, skeletal figure wearing a tattered noble's robe emerges, locking its hollow eyes on Seraph while the air grows colder, almost as if the mansion itself took a breath.
I quickly channel my fire into a protective sphere around the party, its flames crackling and heating the cold air around us, and I shout, "We've got company, stay close!"
I snarl and step forward, raising my shield high and putting myself between the party and the skeletal figure. "Ye picked the wrong group to haunt, Bonebag," I shout, trying to draw its attention and intimidate it into focusing on me.
I swiftly dive to the side, utilizing the shadows to blend in with the surroundings, and whisper, "I'll find a way to flank this bony fellow."
I raise my holy symbol toward the skeletal figure, my voice echoing through the chilling air as I invoke Kelemvor's power to turn undead. Return to the silence from whence you came, for Kelemvor's judgment awaits all who linger beyond their time.
The skeletal figure recoils as Seraph's holy words echo through the hall. Its hollow eyes flare briefly with a cold light before it hisses, retreating slightly up the staircase. However, the mansion responds to Seraph's invocation, and from behind old tapestries, 2 additional skeletal soldiers emerge, rusty swords in hand, ready to enforce their master's will. Outside, a distant thunder rumbles, as if the very weather is reacting to the dire events unfolding within.
Seeing the skeletal soldiers emerge, I narrow my eyes and swiftly conjure a scorching ray of fire, aiming at the tapestry to ignite it and create a barrier of flames between us and the new enemies. "Let's turn up the heat," I yell, hoping to slow their advance.
I grip my axe tighter and charge toward the nearest skeletal soldier emerging from behind the tapestry. With a fierce growl, I swing my weapon with all my strength, aiming to shatter its rusty sword and render it defenseless. "Back to the grave with you, you witless pile of bones!"
Seeing the 2 new skeletal soldiers, I slip into the shadows and maneuver quietly behind the tapestry, intending to disable them with my dagger while hidden. "Time to snip these puppet strings," I whisper, aiming for the bindings holding these undead together.
Noting the emergence of the 2 skeletal soldiers, I recognize the need to enforce Kelemvor's will more forcefully. I reach into my component pouch and retrieve a vial of holy water, then splash it in their direction while invoking a prayer to Kelemvor to banish them back to the afterlife. As I do, I declare, "Your final rest has arrived. Be cleansed by the waters of oblivion."
Pyra's scorching ray ignites the tapestry, creating a roaring wall of fire that momentarily halts the skeletal soldiers' advance. their hollow eyes gleaming ominously through the flames. Thoradin's axe cleaves through the air, obliterating the nearest skeleton, causing its rusty sword to clatter uselessly to the ground as its bones collapse into a heap. Wisp's dagger finds its mark, slicing through key joints and causing the second skeletal soldier to crumble silently into a motionless pile. Seraph's holy water splashes onto the skeletal figure on the staircase, hissing and burning its bones. It screeches and retreats further into the darkness, leaving behind a foul stench as the mansion trembles slightly, as if registering the loss of its fallen defenders.
I seize the moment, directing another fiery spell towards the ceiling beams above the skeletal figure, intending to bring burning debris down upon it and further force its retreat. "Let's bring the house down," I shout, feeling the surge of chaotic energy.
Seeing the skeletal figure retreat and hearing Pyra's plan, I nod and step forward, placing myself firmly between the party and any potential threats. "Keep behind me. I'll cover anything that comes our way," I grunt, raising my shield high to protect the party from falling debris and any further attacks.
I quickly dart up the staircase, using the shadows cast by the flames to stay hidden, and position myself to ambush the skeletal figure from behind. "Let's see if Bones can feel a sneak attack," I murmur quietly as I ready my dagger.
As Pyra's spell begins to weaken the ceiling above, I anticipate the danger and prepare to aid the party. I cast Sanctuary on myself, muttering softly, "In Kelemvor's embrace, I remain untouched. May his protection extend to all who walk his path."
The ceiling beams crack and splinter under Pyra's fiery assault, and with a deafening crash, burning debris cascades down upon the skeletal figure. The force of the collapse and the searing flames engulf it, causing its bones to char and disintegrate into ash. As the dust settles, you hear a groan from the mansion itself, the very structure unsettled by the chaos. Somewhere deeper within, you catch the faintest sound of distant music, a haunting lullaby that beckons you further into the unknown depths of the mansion.
With the skeletal threat neutralized for the moment, I extinguish my flames and take a deep breath. Keeping my guard up, I turn to the group and say, "Let's follow that music. It might lead us to the heart of this place." Then, I start to move forward cautiously, the flicker of a renewed flame dancing at my fingertips to light our way.
I plant my axe into the floor with a thud and strain my ears towards the haunting lullaby, my grizzled face set in a determined scowl. "Stay close, everyone. This mansion's got more to it than just a few rattling bones," I grumble, readying my shield and leading the way deeper into the mansion.
Light on my feet, I proceed cautiously after Pyra, scanning the dark corners and trying to pinpoint the source of the lullaby while looking out for traps along the way. "I'll scout ahead to ensure we don't walk into another nasty surprise," I whisper, slinking into the shadows.
I walk lightly behind Thoradin, the chill of divine power still palpable around me, as I cast light on my holy symbol to better illuminate our path. Softly I murmur, "Beware the melodies of the past. They often lead to graves unmarked."
As you descend deeper into the mansion, the air grows ever colder. Your breaths become visible in the dim light. Faded wallpaper curls away from the walls, revealing etchings and arcane symbols embedded in the ancient wood. The haunting lullaby grows louder and clearer, leading you to a grand, decrepit ballroom where spectral figures dance in eerie silence. At the far end, a twisted, time-worn piano plays on its own, and seated before it, an ethereal woman in a tattered ballroom gown, her back to you, hands gliding over the keys with unnatural grace.
I advance into the grand ballroom, my eyes fixed on the ethereal woman at the piano. I let my flame extinguish, knowing subtlety is key, and I speak softly. "Excuse me, lady of the mansion, we mean no harm. Can you tell us why this place is haunted?"
I step into the grand ballroom, keeping my shield up and positioning myself protectively in front of the party. "Aye, answer her, ghost. Why is this place cursed, and what can we do to put it right?" I demand, my voice echoing through the eerie silence.
I sidestep into the shadows of the ballroom, moving behind the spectral figures to get a closer look at the piano and the ethereal woman. Let's see what secrets you're hiding, my ghostly friend, I whisper, examining the surroundings for anything unusual or potentially dangerous.
I walk into the ballroom, the cold, oppressive yet familiar, and clutch my holy symbol as I cautiously approach the ethereal woman. In a haunting whisper I say, "What sorrow binds you here, lost soul? Speak so Kelemvor may guide you to your eternal rest."
The ethereal woman's fingers pause on the keys, and the haunting melody ceases, leaving an unsettling silence in its wake. Slowly, she turns her head, her translucent eyes locking onto Pyra with a sorrowful intensity. "I am bound by grief and betrayal," she whispers, her voice like the rustle of dead leaves. "This mansion was my prison, and my murderers walk among the spirits you see." As she speaks, the spectral dancers freeze and turn their hollow eyes towards the party, their expressions vacant yet filled with unspoken torment.
I take a cautious step forward, keeping my voice gentle yet firm. "We can help you find peace, but we need your guidance. Tell us how we can free you and lift the curse from this mansion."
I tighten my grip on my axe and scan the room for any hidden threats, then address the ethereal woman with a stern resolve in my voice. "Speak plainly, spirit. Who are these murderers, and how do we put them to rest for good?"
I silently slip closer to one of the frozen spectral dancers, examining its form for any clues or symbols that might link it to the woman's story, all while keeping hidden. Maybe your murderers left some traces behind, I mutter under my breath.
I move closer to the ethereal woman, my heart heavy with empathy and resolve. With a voice filled with solemnity, I utter, "Reveal to us the hidden wounds and treacheries that bind you, so we may avenge your suffering and grant you solace in Kelemvor's embrace." I then cast Detect Evil and Good to discern the malevolent and benevolent forces within the ballroom.
First, the ethereal woman's gaze shifts to Seraph, acknowledging her solemn plea. "To break the curse, you must reunite the shards of my broken soul, scattered and hidden by my treacherous kin," she whispers, her voice woven with sorrow. As she speaks, Seraph's Detect Evil and Good reveals a palpable aura of malevolence surrounding several of the spectral dancers, indicating they are the treacherous spirits the woman spoke of. One spectral figure steps forward, its form flickering and unstable, a dagger clutched in its ghostly hand as it snarls, "You will never free her," and lunges towards Thoradin.
The sight of the lunging spectral figure ignites a surge of adrenaline. I swiftly conjure a blazing whip of fire in my hand, snapping it towards the spectral figure to intercept its attack and protect Thoradin. "Back off, or I'll turn you to ash!" I shout, my voice echoing through the ballroom with fiery intensity.
The moment the spectral figure lunges at me, I plant my feet firmly, raising my shield to absorb the impact. With a fierce roar, I thrust my shield forward to bash the spirit back, creating space for Pyra's fiery whip to strike. "Not fast enough, ghost! Your fight's with me."
Seeing the spectral figure lunge at Thoradin, I quickly move into position behind it, slipping my dagger out and aiming for a precise strike to disrupt its form. "Time to make you disappear," I whisper, thrusting my dagger towards its flickering essence.
As Pyra and Thoradin create a momentary distraction, I step beside Thoradin and raise my holy symbol towards the lunging spectral figure. With unwavering conviction, I invoke Kelemvor's divine power to cast Turn Undead, my voice resonating through the room. "By the grace of Kelemvor, be banished to the shadows from which you crawled.